What are the factors of 4a squared plus 4a plus 1? Is it letter A, 2a plus 1 times 2a minus 1? Or letter B, 2a plus 1 times 2a plus 1? Or letter C, 2a minus 1 times 2a minus 1? Or letter D, 2a minus 1 times 4a squared plus 2a plus 1? What is your answer?
Hi there, I'm Jason, and you're watching
Jason! 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 Jason!
In order for you to answer this particular question correctly and directly, you must be familiar with the concept of perfect square numbers. So when we talk about perfect square numbers, so these are just the products of squaring the whole number. So if we're gonna square 0, so 0 squared, the answer is 0. So 1 squared, the answer is 1. 2 squared, that's 4. 3 squared, that's 9. 4 squared, that's 16. 5 squared, that's 25. 6 squared, that's 36. 7 squared, that's 49. 8 squared, that's 64. 9 squared equals 81. 10 squared equals 100. 11 squared, that's 121. 12 squared, that's 144. 13 squared, that's 169. 14 squared, that's 196. 15 squared, that's 225. 16 squared, that's 256. 17 squared, that's 289. 18 squared, that's 324. 19 squared, that's 361. 20 squared, that's 400, and so on and so forth. So the numbers in color red, so 0, 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, 81, 100, and so on, are the perfect square numbers. So they are called perfect square numbers because we're going to square it. So we're gonna have an answer which is a whole number. So that's just basically what perfect square numbers are. Now, when we are going to factor perfect square trinomial, so from the word perfect square, so there are, or that particular polynomial or trinomial has perfect square numbers. So just like this. So if we're gonna factor 4a squared plus 4a plus 1, so as what you can see, there are numbers there which are perfect square numbers. So 4 and 1. So ang ino nang tanawon dan na is ang first term and last term, if it's a perfect square monomial ba siya. So like just like this. So 4a squared, so this is a perfect square monomial, as well as the last term 1. So this is also a perfect square monomial. So constant maning 1. So in factoring such trinomials, so all you just have to do is just to get the square root of the first term and then plus the square root of the last term, and then you're just gonna copy that factor. So yun nga na. So again, you just have to get the square root of the first term, so 4a squared, and then plus the square root of the second term. So the sign here is plus, so this is addition. If the sign here as well as here is also addition, so you have to take that into account. So you have to take the operations here into account in factoring. So, pero given naman nga this is a perfect square trinomial, so we could simply apply the rule, which is just to square or get the square root of the first term and then the last term. So that's why I'm putting this here. So the square root of 4a squared plus the square root of 1 times, so we're just gonna copy this. So pareha na silang duha. So and then let's simplify. So the square root of 4a squared is 2a, and then copy plus the square root of 1 is just 1. So imo na po na siyang kopyaon. And therefore, this is now the answer for this particular question. So ingana na siya ka dali as long as the given polynomial is a perfect square trinomial. So again, just get the square root of the first term and then the square root of the last term. And then my answer, ani, jakapin na siya. This is the answer for this particular question. So therefore, the answer for the question of the day is letter B, 2a plus 1 times 2a plus 1. So ingana na siya kadili. Now let's try more examples for you to understand this concept better. So let's try to factor a squared plus 14a plus 49. So again, you just have to look at the first term and then the last term. So by the way, trinomials are polynomials which have 3 terms. So as what you can see, 3 terms here. So 1, 2, 3. Na ito look at terms aning given nga polynomial. So again, just get the square root of the first term. So that's square root of a squared plus the square root of the second term, 49. And then you're just gonna have to copy that. So the square root of a squared, that's a. And then plus the square root of 49, that's 7. So 7, why? Because 7 times 7, that's 49. So that's just how easy squaring a number is. And then just copy this one. So therefore, the factors of a squared plus 14a plus 49 is a plus 7 times a plus 7. So in order for you to check your answer, you could multiply this 2, and then you're still gonna get the same answer as this. Because factoring perfect square trinomials is actually just the reverse method of getting the product of these two terms. So if we're gonna get the product of these two terms, this binomial, so we're still gonna get a squared plus 4a plus 1. So bilang na ng factoring sa pag-multiply sa or squaring binomials. And then let's try more examples. Let's factor b squared minus 8b plus 16. So what about this one, wherein the sign of the second term is minus, so it's subtraction. So we're gonna factor this trinomial. So again, since this is already a perfect square trinomial, so you're just gonna get the square root of the first term, so it's the square root of b squared. And then if this is minus, so minus pa ning sign ani. So minus the square root of the last term. So that's square root of 16, and then you're just gonna copy that again. So b squared minus square root of b squared minus the square root of 16. And then you just have to simplify them. So the square root of b squared, that's b, minus the square root of 16 is 4, and then just copy that. So b minus 4. So therefore, the answer for this particular given or exercise is b minus 4 times b minus 4. So again, if we're still gonna need to check this, if we're gonna multiply b minus 4 by b minus 4, you're still gonna arrive to this given b squared minus 8b plus 16. So, mora gyapon ang inyong answer. Okay po man ang inyong i-check. And then, what about this? Let's factor 25x squared plus 60xy plus 36y squared. So again, get the square root of the first term, and then plus the square root of the last term, and then just copy that. So, the square root of, plus ni, because plus man sad ni. Okay, the square root of 25x squared, that's 5x, and then plus the square root of the last term, which is 36y squared, is 6y, and then just copy that. So therefore, the answer for this particular given is 5x plus 6y times 5x plus 6y. So this is the answer. O, nawahi ang butang nga solution. What about this? Let's factor 4r squared s squared minus 12r st plus 9t squared. So gito yun inaho nga the given polynomial or trinomial is already a perfect square trinomial. So you should also have to consider looking at the given trinomial. Basin dahil pwede di siya perfect square trinomial. So if the given polynomial is not a perfect square trinomial, then you cannot use this rule, this procedure. So this procedure is just applicable for perfect square trinomials. Now what about this? Let's try to answer this. So again, let's just gonna get the square root of the first term and then the square root of the last term. So the square root of 4r squared s squared minus, so minus ni kay, minus money, and then here, minus the square root of the last term, and then just copy that. So the square root of 4r squared s squared, that's 2rs, and then minus the square root of 9t squared, that's 3t, times, just copy that. So therefore, the answer for this particular given is 2rs minus 3t times 2rs minus 3t. So, mo na siya ang answer. So again ha, you cannot use this method unless the given is a perfect square trinomial. So kung dili siya perfect square trinomial, so dili ni siya pwede nimong gamitin. Because if you're still gonna use this method and then the given is not a perfect square trinomial, then obviously you'll get a wrong answer. So that's why you should also have to check your answers. I-multiply ni siya nimo for you to be assured that your answer is correct. Now this time, try to answer this. So try to factor 9c squared d squared plus 30c d mn plus 25m squared n squared, and then you may comment your answer in the comment section below. That's all for now. Thank you, more power, and let's keep learning.